Hello guys, it's me Daniel96 back here for another video, and today we'll be making our round 4 tips of the 2024 AFL season. So before we get started, let's have a look at our round 3 tips, and my word, what a round it was. There were some upsets that I did not see coming, and we ended up getting 4 out of 8 tips in that round. I mean, Brisbane, yeah, they are in a bit of trouble. Looking down here, Carlton, not surprising. Fremantle got the job done pretty convincingly against Adelaide. And both my Saturday tips are wrong, where Essendon got home in a thriller and Melbourne as well got home in a thriller. Western Bulldogs, that was an easy one, but Sydney lost against Richmond. That was a big surprise. And then finally, Geelong got the job done it was a wet game with lightning as well, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah, you can see the margins that we got predicted versus the actual, and yeah, we had some pretty close games. The Easter Monday game was close, but yeah, not too bad. Definitely one of the harder tipping rounds of this season so far, and yeah, hopefully that was the hardest, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, let's move on. And so we have finally hit gather round for 2024. It's going to be a massive round. It's going to be a bit of a longer episode than usual, but all 18 teams are playing. There's going to be 9 games in South Australia. It's going to be a really big round. I'll be going to most of these games, and to get things started, we begin on a Thursday night at the Adelaide Oval between Adelaide and Melbourne. I mean, 7:10 p.m. is, yeah, wow. I mean, Melbourne playing back-to-back games in Adelaide. They got a really impressive win against Port. I was at that game, and yeah, my word, Melbourne, they are big contenders for this year's premiership. And as for Adelaide, yeah, they did lose against Fremantle at Optus. Definitely not an easy venue to play, but yeah, they only scored 34, and definitely some concern for them. I mean, yeah, what more to say? This game is going to be a sellout. It's going to be full house. There's big pressure since this is the first game of the gather round. If I'm correct, Stephen May might be coming back this week after that injury that he had. So that is a big in. As for Adelaide, they did get an injury with Wayne Miller. He's out for the season. Yeah, all the pressure is on towards the Crows, and they are coming back home. This is definitely one of the bigger games of gather round, and I'm gonna get things started here. I'm gonna get things started straight away. I think whoever has a big chance here, I think it's Melbourne that does have a bigger chance of winning this game, but I am gonna go for an upset here. I haven't done many risky tips in a while, and I can see this one being one of them. I'm actually gonna tip Adelaide to get the win in this game. I feel like if there was a chance, it's going to be now. They're back at home in Adelaide. They tend to play really well. They didn't do as well against Geelong, but definitely a chance for them to do so again. We saw what happened with Carlton as well last season. Carlton were, I think, undefeated until round 5, until they versed the Crows at gather round and just got completely smashed. So yeah, there's a chance that could happen, but I'm going to stick with the Crows for this tip. Melbourne do have a much better chance of winning this game, but I'm going to tip the Crows for this one to win by 12 points, and I'm rating this game a 91. So the next game is on the Friday, and there's 2 games on the Friday. The first one being at Norwood Oval, and yeah, what about this game? Brisbane versus North Melbourne, starting at 4:40 p.m. Both teams surprisingly undefeated. I mean, I still can't believe that. I mean, yeah, Brisbane runners-up 2023 versus North Melbourne, who came, I think, second to last year. But yeah, this is an important game. This is important for the fact that Brisbane have to get a win someday, and surely this is the one for them. I'm not backing away against North though, because North haven't been too bad, but they haven't been close enough, and I think that's a big problem that they need to overcome. They just have potential. They have potential, but I mean, they're not making the most use of it, I think. And yeah, all the tips are leading towards Brisbane, and it's definitely, yeah, it's a really important game. They faced each other in last year's gather round, and from what I remember, North started really well, but then Brisbane overtook them and won by I think 70 points plus. And I feel like this is what's gonna happen. It's at Norwood, not at the Hills, but the weather's looking good. I think Brisbane will make most of this chance to get themselves their first win, finally, if that is the case. But I'm predicting Brisbane to get the win by 42 points, and I'm rating this game as 75. Now going down here, and whoa, this is another big game. Port Adelaide versus Essendon for Friday night at the Adelaide Oval. Yeah, this game is huge. Let's get started with Port. I mean, they won every stat you can think of, and they still lost to Melbourne. I mean, how does that even happen? They made so many blunders during that game against Melbourne, and well, they definitely need to get themselves back. Meanwhile, Essendon, what a win they got against the Saints. Jake Stringer kicking the thrilling winner goal. I think there was lots of time, but yeah, they managed to beat the Saints and managed to hit the front only towards the end. And yeah, they are currently sitting 2 spots below Port. A lot is riding from this game. Yeah, this is a massive one. I mean, both these teams do have a history. The 2 games that they played last year, Port won both in thrillers. Particularly one where Dan Houston kicked the goal after the siren. Could we see a close game? I think so. And I'm exactly predicting that's what's going to happen. I think it will be close, but I have to give it to Port to this game. I mean, they have to step back, and I think they can step back. They had a good game last game, but they made way too many mistakes. Just some small mistakes that costed them big time. And Essendon will have the momentum. I think they will play really strong in this game, but I think Port will get over the line by 16 points, and I'm rating this game a 90. We're only a third into gather round, and these games are going to be massive. Alright, so let's scroll down here to see the Saturday games, and yeah, well, let's get started with this first one. West Coast vs Sydney at the Hills, back at Mount Barker. Yeah, $12. That's, yeah, 2%. Yeah, I have to go with Sydney. Sydney to win. I also don't know how Sydney lost that one against Richmond the week before. I mean, they were massive favourites, but Richmond made a big surprise, big upset, and I think Sydney fans will be angry, the players will be angry about that. So I think they need to release their anger against West Coast. Yeah, it's a big opportunity. As for West Coast, it feels like last year and the year before. It's really hard to see them winning this game, but there is a chance that they can make this game, you know, good for them. I reckon they can score like a pretty high score at least, but yeah, it's all leaning towards Sydney's way. They're playing at the Hills, a neutral venue. Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game to watch. I'm going to be there as well, but I am predicting Sydney to get the win by 67 points, and I'm rating this game as 67. Although this game was one-sided, this game is not, and wow, we Fremantle versus Carlton, both undefeated teams. We have a big, massive game here at a afternoon game at the Adelaide Oval. Game starting at 3:50 p.m. and wow, both these teams are on a roll so far in season 2024. Both these teams won against North. Fremantle beat the Crows and they beat the Lions at home, whereas Carlton, well, they beat Richmond and they beat Brisbane away from home. And yeah, it's I think all even 3-0, and well, someone has to lose. Yeah, I'm calling this a massive game, an even game, and yeah, most of the odds are leaning towards Carlton. I can't see Carlton losing anytime soon, but as you will see, if there was a game that they could lose, it could be this one. I mean, they're playing at a neutral venue. Yeah, it's really anyone's to win or lose. There's going to be some massive stakes here, but I'm going to go for my second upset of this round. Carlton, they look good, and so do Fremantle. But I'm actually going to go Fremantle to produce a really thrilling upset against Carlton. I think it will be close. I mean, Carlton have played lots of close games, but I think they'll fall short in this one. It's a really, really bold call, and if Carlton win, I won't be surprised. But I'm going to go and for the upset, Fremantle to get the job done by 5 points, and I'm rating this game a 94. This will be the best game of the round, I'm calling it. Yeah, and the next game we have straight after that one is still at the Adelaide Oval. It's the Bulldogs up against the Cats, and this is really even. Now on the ladder, the ladder hasn't updated yet, so Geelong should actually be, I think, 4th. But yeah, Geelong have had that one extra win, and it's still even, $1.90 each. I mean, this is gonna be close. I also say that because both of these teams play really good at the Adelaide Oval, so this is a neutral game. The Bulldogs got a really great win against the Eagles, very one-sided, whereas the Cats got home against the Hawks in wet weather conditions. I mean, it was just as hard as it could play, but this is a massive test for both teams, especially during this season. I had a tough time thinking about who might win this game, and this is definitely one of the hardest tips I'm making. But considering Geelong recently played at the Adelaide Oval 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago actually, they won it really well against Adelaide, and that's what is leaning my tip towards Geelong to get the job done. I think they have a better chance. I think it will be close, really close. Both these teams are great, but I'm predicting Geelong just to get over the line against the Bulldogs by 10 points, and I'm rating this game a 92. So wow, those 2 games are going to be huge, but we go down towards the last 3 games. They are on the Sunday. The first one between Gold Coast and GWS at the Hills. This is going to be a midday game. I think both these teams had a bye last round, so they get a chance to play each other, and yeah, it is one-sided as you can see by the tips, but I actually think it's going to be a fairly good contest. I think both teams will score well, and yeah, it is mostly leaning towards the Giants because they haven't lost. They've sat on top of the ladder. I think they still do. I mean, the Giants are definitely premiership contenders so far in this season. It's going to be really hard to see them lose against the Swans, who have an interesting season so far. They won their 2 home games, but yeah, lost the big one away. So for that, guys, I think it will be a mostly even contest for most of the game. I think the Giants will pull away though towards the late stages, maybe in the 3rd quarter or 4th. But I think they will get the job done, the Giants. It is a pretty big game. I am tipping them to win by 27 points, and I'm rating this game an 83. So now we look at the Sunday afternoon game. We're back at Norwood Oval, and it's between Richmond and St Kilda. Wow, I didn't realize this game was actually going to be big until Richmond beat Sydney in a thriller. So yeah, this is going to be huge. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised St Kilda lost that game. They have lost both of the games in really close margins, by 8 points and by 4 points. They need to get these wins, and this is a massive game. Whereas for Richmond, this is their first game that they are playing since the opening round game against Gold Coast, where they're not playing at the G. So I think this is a good chance for them to try something here. I mean, both these teams haven't played at Norwood, and it might prove some challenges or might bring some advantages, making this contest a pretty even one. But the Saints have got to get back on track, and I can see them winning this game. It's a must win for them after losing that game last round. So I have to go with the Saints. I mean, they're a more safer tip for this game. I think it will be close, but I think the Saints will get the job done by 24 points, and I'm rating this game an 87. So now we head to the last game, and it is a twilight game at the Adelaide Oval. And it is all this round has been big games, and this one is definitely one of them, between Collingwood and Hawthorn. Jack Ginnivan playing against his former side. I mean, it was about time Collingwood finally got a win. I mean, they won a premiership. You would expect them to be, I don't know, 3-0 or 4-0, but they were in a bit of trouble. They got the win at the Gabba, surprisingly. They are starting to get some momentum. Hawthorn, meanwhile, they did have momentum against the Cats, but again, they made some big blunders, and yeah, they are definitely outmatched against the good sides. Still searching for their first win. I think this game is also an important one. I think Hawthorn can bounce back, and after their losses, they definitely can bounce back. And yeah, they always have these chances, but I think after Collingwood got that win last game against Brisbane, which is not easy to do, they are favourites to win this game for a reason. They are the premiers last year. I mean, you'd surely think that Collingwood will take this game as high importance just to get themselves back with the 2 wins, and that is why I'm going with the tip for Collingwood to win this game by 20 points, and I am rating this game a 79. And just like that, these are my gather round tips. I mean, this is going to be an interesting round. I think I will get some of these tips wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to leave it here for today. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.